Okay, so today, or this next lesson, we're going to look at common logarithms and change of base. And these are just two new terms with logarithms. So first, when we talk about common logarithms are anything that have a base 10, meaning that we don't put a base. So if you remember correctly, if you remember from other lessons, if we have like x and there's no nothing in front of it, what do we assume that thing to be? A 1. If there is a square root and there is no number right here, what do we assume it to be? A 2. If there is no exponent on a number, what do we assume it to be? A 1. Okay, well the same is true with logarithm. If I just say log of 3, then we assume the base is 10, like that's a 10, but we don't have to write it, and we call it common log. Okay, now back in the day, calculators only did common logs, okay? So that's all you did. So that's why when you push the log button, it is automatically a base 10. So the calculator works in base 10. So for all these first 8 problems, all you're going to do is just push log 6 and get a decimal and practice rounding. So for this first one, if you push log 6, you get 0.778. If you push log 15, you get 1.176. Okay, so I'm going to finish filling these in. I want you to practice on your calculator, just making sure that you know where the log button is and you know how to round. Okay, so maybe pause and try some, because I will count it wrong if you round to the wrong decimal place. I say that, I hope I've rounded all of mine correctly. But you must know how to round them. So, okay, I think mine are all correct. And then here we make a little observation. Look at the logs above and finish the statement. So if the argument is larger than 1, then what do you notice about all the answers? They are positive. If the argument is less than or between 0 and 1, then the answers are negative. So it's just a little observation. Okay, now if our base is not 10 and we want to use our calculator, we have something called the change of base property, or the change of base formula. And you take the log of the argument over the log of the exponent, of the base. So log of argument over base. And in this practice problem is log base 4 of 9. So what the question is asking us is 4 to some power equals 9. But we don't know what that power is. We just want to know that 4 to the some kind of power, question mark, equals 9. So in our calculator, we can type log 9 divided by log 4. And we get this a decimal answer of 1.585. So that means that 4 to the 1.585 power is about 9. Now it's not exactly 9 because this decimal continues and continues on forever, for a long time. However, we can just round it off to 3 decimal places and say that that's approximately 9. Okay, and that works because 4 to the first power is 4 and 4 squared is 16. So 4 to the 1.585 is in between there, and that would be 9, so that makes sense. Okay, now the key when doing this in your calculator is the parentheses, because when you type the log button, it automatically opens a parenthesis. Okay, if you type, like I'm doing this next problem, number 11, if you type and do this, okay, that will be wrong. You must close this parenthesis and close this parenthesis, otherwise your answer will be incorrect. So for this case, if I write it as a common log, it'd be log of 7 over log of 3. And remember, this is a common log because now they're both in base 10. So it's like log base 10 of 7 divided by log base 10 of 3. So they're both like bases, and we know that this is 1.771. Same thing here. Log base 66 over log base 5. Don't forget your parentheses. That's 2.603. Okay, push pause, try 13 and 14, and then turn back on. Okay, those should be your 2 answers, so I hope that is what you got. Okay, so now there is another way you can do this in your calculator because of the new operating system. And y'all are like only the second year of students to be able to do this, because before they always had to do the other. So now your calculator has a log base button, and the way you find that is you hit Math, up arrow, Enter. And when you do that, you should get a log with 2 little boxes. Okay, and then you'd put the 2 in this box and the 8 in that box, and you get 3 as your answer. Okay, so try the rest of these with that strategy. So it's the Math, up arrow, Enter. And it says log base. It's the log base function of your calculator. So give those a shot and then check your answers. Okay, so here is your 3 answers for 16, 17, and 18. So check those and make sure you got them correct. Okay, so now here, the next few problems are like the entire reason we do this. It's to solve an equation where we don't know what the exponent is, but it's not a whole number. So for number 19, so I want to know 8 to the what power is 50. So I can get close. I can say that, okay, 8 squared is 64, so it has to be less than 2. But otherwise, I would not know how to do this. So if I change it to log form, log base 8 of 50 equals P. Now I use my log base button, log base 8 of 50, and you get 1.881. So try the next one. Log base 7 of 15 equals Y. Use your log base button, and you get 1.392. Okay, try the next 2 problems, push pause, try them on your own, try changing them to log form, putting them in your calculator, and then check back. Okay, so check your answers, see if those are correct. There's one last thing that I want to make note of, one last kind of problem, and it is where there's like maybe a third step in doing these. So let's say I have 3 to the 4b equals 19. Okay, so that would be log base 3 of 19 equals 4b. Okay, so when I type that in my calculator, I get the decimal like 2.68014385, etc., etc. Now, here's the thing. Don't write that down. Don't write 4b equals that, because I just want to take this entire answer and divide it by 4. I don't want to lose the decimal place. So in my calculator, after I've done the log base and push enter, all I'm going to do is hit divide. So now my calculator says ANS divide. I'm going to put 4, and now I know that B equals 0.670. Okay, so you want the whole answer in there because you don't want to lose the decimal. You want to keep all those decimal places. So that's why we just hit answer. Okay, so this is kind of a little bit of a harder problem, but it's just an extra step to solve. So work on these and work on the practice. There's a whole bunch like this on the practice. Make sure you can do those, and then you will be ready to move on. Great.